All right, YouTube, what is up, man? We got another video. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. He said, why Drake just officially said he's quitting rap to become a full-time streamer. Now, I think that's a cap because he just originally said that he's making a new album. But let's see what Fantastic Hip Hop got to say, man. Salute to Fantastic Hip Hop. Make sure y'all go follow him. Let's check it out.
And one of the strangest choices he could ever possibly make. Well, after a lot of speculation, it all just finally happened, as after a clear push away from hip-hop culture and everything it has ever stood for, Drake has just jumped into something like we have never seen him before. Because clearly now what we can all see is that all of those Aiden Ross streams have been teasing and hinting to something much bigger, because right now, Drake is joining that same awful platform that Ross and academics have put together some of the most insane things you have ever seen on in an official deal. And with this, according to what we know and from Drake himself at that, for the foreseeable future and for the time being, Kendrick Lamar has ruined and pushed Drake so far away from hip-hop so bad now that we are about to be getting weekly streams from Drake. And now before we go any further into what all of this means and how pathetic the idea of Drake going from rapper to streamer really is, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as OVO is not going to want you to hear this, really be sure to leave that like so we can all see how down bad Drake is. And so now with that said, when it comes to Drake, right now from the way it all looks, Drake just made a decision that is going to change the trajectory of where he is at and where his career is going to go forever. Because with Drake and Aiden Ross's latest stream, where these two just acted more immature and strange than ever, and Drake just showed that he is getting along with these guys a lot more than he ever has with actual rappers. Drake said something towards the end of the stream when he was not embarrassing himself by saying that he can box Kendrick Lamar behind closed doors, or was trying to say that Kendrick's numbers and streams are all faked. That just gave us major insight into what his next chapter is going to be. And now with what we have learned, I mean, I don't think anybody would have believed this when they heard push-ups a year ago, because Drake said that he is going to be streaming every single week. And I mean, he really embraced this, as he clearly showed that he loves doing these things so much. And he doesn't just want to do his own streams, but he also wants to executive produce Aiden's, I guess, to have all those weird gimmicks and antics that we saw during the one they just did. And now while Drake fans think he's leveling up against the industry and that he's going to defeat everyone by showing how good of a person he is and how cool he is to be around, and then they also think he's a genius for removing his label out of this equation, although once again he is running to another platform and medium which he is going to have to work for. I mean, no matter how you want to put it, with Drake now assembling his next circle of people to be Aiden Ross, XQC, academics, and Andrew Schultz at this point, if you like this guy for music and do think and look at Drake as a rapper and artist first, how could you possibly be happy about this? Because on every single level that matters, no matter how you want to put it, with Drake abandoning nearly every single principle and core pillar of hip-hop, and even just in terms of who he is associating with, he is no longer affiliated with any artist besides joke rappers like OVO's very own Smiley, who was also kind of more of a streamer than a rapper at this point. And then instead of standing next to and embracing hip-hop, he's standing next to these grifting yes men who just show the worst about content and discourse in general right now. I mean, with Drake doing all of this while at the same time having a lawsuit out over a diss song, I mean, Drake has managed to once again do it and just surprise us all over again, because he is now not just the biggest Karen we have ever seen, but he's also the first rapper who, after losing a rap beef so bad, did not just send in paperwork over the song that ended his career, but now has fully switched professions, as he's going to become not a full-time artist again in this time who just wants to release great music and focus on that, but he is becoming a full-time streamer. And I mean, with Drake now being teamed up with all of the people and platforms that just make names like Aiden Ross and academics as annoying as they are, I mean, I've talked about this before and said that this was clearly the play when Drake did his Drizma stream with Aiden Ross back at the end of 2024, but it's so obvious that Drake has wanted to enter this space of grifters and liars who just perpetuate the worst ideas, because as his music and actions have shown, this is all he can contribute to right now in any space, and this is the only audience that he's even making anything for, because with how immature, bitter, and delusional everything even in his own music has gotten, I mean, the only audience who actually wants to hear this stuff and then resonate with it on a deeper level are just the most insecure people who idolize the loudest losers.
Like I said, he's a Peter Pan. He's a Toys R Us kid. He really don't want to grow up, so now he's aligning himself with the younger generation. Aiden Ross is what, 23? Aiden Ross is 23, 24. Like this, like he's a weird. Drake is weird. Me personally, like, there's cool to be connected and stuff like that, but why don't he hang around people his age? Like, he wants to be young forever. So he wants to gravitate to the young crowd. Like, he's going to be that 50-year-old, 60-year-old dude at the young clubs. Like, why can't he find people to hang and chill with and stream with that's around his age? He wants to cater to the young people forever. He don't never want to grow up
in the room like Drake, Aiden, and Ak in this case. And I mean, with Drake going as far to say that he is doing weekly streams here and he is seemingly enjoying doing these more than anything else right now, because I mean, just look at the guy on this. He seems to be having a lot more fun here than with any other new music he has done. I am sure he's going to make louder and more annoying productions, and he is going to have on a lot more special guests. And I mean, with everyone Drake is teamed up with now and everything we know he is lining up from his own words, I have said this before, but the play here has never been more obvious. And now what I am talking about is that with whatever Drake is doing and the stuff he is trying to achieve on these streams, there's going to be one end goal to this that is going to result in maybe the most annoying moment we will ever see from a rapper ever. And what I am talking about is this thing where Drake is going to sit down with a pair of brothers who I'm not going to say by name yet, but I'm sure you figured out who I am talking about, and when these guys sit down with Drake. And just again, they're also friends with these platforms and people Drake is working with and are very good friends with Ak.
Is he talking about the Hodge twins? Is he talking about the Hodge twins? Brothers? Twins? Talk about the Hodge twins
and Aiden Ross. They are just going to tie their fan bases together and just solidify Drake as not just a rapper who has assembled the worst people.
Nah, the Hodge twins are too old. Nah. So I don't know any other brothers, but the brothers I know are the Hodge twins, but they too old for Drake. Drake like him around 20, 21-ish.
Around him ever, and that's not even close anymore with how he just solidified. He is team Aiden Ross over any person in hip-hop. But then Drake and all these annoying people are going to push all these ideas about how Drake has been wronged and he's trying to break the quote-unquote matrix. And as these people tend to do, they will be manipulated by it, and then will have such disdain for Kendrick Lamar and everything in the music industry, and specifically here hip-hop as a whole. And again, with Aiden and maybe even these brothers and whoever else is going to join in, they're going to try to take down hip-hop and everything it has ever stood for, and then build it back up on the ideas and principles that Drake wants it to be defined by, which again, are now more aligned with Aiden Ross than even people like Future and Travis Scott, and that tells you everything you need to know. And so when we look at Drake's career trajectory and now see that he is becoming a full-time streamer, and again, the guy is literally saying that he's going to be doing weekly streams. I mean, while this is all going to be very annoying, it is also the funniest thing ever in a way, because how can you go from being the guy he once was, which at the bare minimum was one of the biggest artists out, and just reach a point where you went from being on stages with all-time legends and working with some of the biggest people ever, and now you want to take down everything with the rappers you have worked with and everybody before them has ever built and stood for. And now with Drake in these streams, while I do think they're going to show everyone in hip-hop how far removed he is from the culture and how he is never going to come back in general, I think when it comes to bringing his fans closer together than ever around his delusions and expanding into this new audience that is just obsessed with these figures like Ak and Aiden, it is going to work for him that way, and he is going to become really the figurehead of this movement and everything around it. And the ripple effects of this in some shape or form, no matter how you want to draw it up, are going to end up just challenging everything hip-hop has ever stood for, just from how annoying and loud these people are going to get when they try and throw all that delusion and bitterness that Drake has made his entire brand defined by in this time right back in rap's face. But I mean, no matter what and where all this goes from here, which even when you look at it like that, it all starts to become clear that Drake is going this far and linking with all of these people and even just becoming a streamer in general as one big temper tantrum to get back at everyone who he feels wronged him. The fact that we have made it to a point where Drake has lost so bad that he is now becoming a full-time streamer and is going to be doing streams every week with the worst people around him. And again, this is all following getting handed a loss in a rap beef like we have never seen. I mean, his push-ups just dropped a year ago, and we can now see the full circle moment of after Drake talking like that, he is now realizing that he has never been defeated worse. Because just to look at where he was at there, which at the time was thinking that he was going to win the back and forth, to now being demoted out of hip-hop so far, that is only friends with these odd streamers, and that he's going to tap into what they are doing even more than he has with music, because that's all he can do. I mean, in the story of hip-hop, this is really going to all go down as all-time proof to never rap against Kendrick Lamar. But now as we wait for what is going to come of this and how Drake is going to manage to disappoint everyone even more with these awful moves, I mean, all we can do is people who appreciate what Kendrick Lamar did to get this guy up and out of here, and people who just appreciate not just what rap music is starting to be with Kendrick behind it, but also for what it has always stood for and for all of the legends who have represented it, is continue to uplift lyricists and genuine artists and all of the core aspects of what makes this culture what it is, because no matter what streamer Drake tries to do, now he tries to rig the game with all these annoying people and personalities who look up to him in the strangest way. They are just never going to be able to take away from the real and undeniable impact of what rap music really stands for. And while he thinks that doing all of this streaming stuff may help him now, I am sure in the long run it's only going to ruin his legacy if he even has one left at this point, and it's going to make his rap career never look worse, because nobody is going to want to stand next to this. And so now with
but I don't think he's gonna be a full-time streamer. But he definitely has done a lot of different streams. You know, he did it with Aiden Ross. Whoa, what the that AI is crazy. That AI is crazy. He did it with that XQC dude. He did it with Aiden Ross again. He has done a couple of live streams by himself. As you see right there. So he's definitely tapping in. He's cool with Aiden. I don't know if he's still cool with Kai. I don't know if he's still cool with Kai, but you know, because you know, Kai Cenat actually told him the truth about you know, you dropped the ball with the Nokia video. We know he's cool with DJ Academic. So all the top streamers, you know, he seems to be aligning himself with. I don't think he's going to become a full-time streamer, but I definitely do think, you know, he wants to tap into that demographic because of the young people. He never wants to grow up. He never wants to grow up. So he is always going to he definitely is going to try to stay connected with the youth. I get it, but it's still weird. Like, it's still weird to me. Nothing's illegal about that, you know, as long as everybody over 21, everything's cool, right? But just to see him consistently just he don't want to grow up. Why can't he link up with people his age? It's something going on with that. But y'all leave a comment down below. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this.